Okay, so from a face-on view, just comparing you to a tour player here, we're going to take a look in the left view and take a look at the backswing. As the club comes away in the backswing, the club gets to what we call a parallel position. So the club here is parallel to the ground. All right. Now we take your swing away, the club away. The club's going to get parallel to the ground. And at this point, we look for a couple things. Has your hip stayed on that green line? If we look back here, the green line came up right by your hip. As you make your backswing, is your hip staying near that green line, or is it actually moving away from it? So at this point, I'd say yours is moving well away from it.
I think I'm
so you're not
swaying the opposite way.
So the question we had off microphone was, I asked Melanie, what is it you're trying to do in your swing? And the answer was you were trying not to sway, and that was sway to the right. Okay, so my point there, which you are not, and just was our point, because I asked you, generally what happens when people, intend to do something, they're going to do it. So that's exactly what you're doing. You're not swaying to the right. So congratulations. You're doing what you want to do. Okay?
But then I'm swaying to the left.
Well, you notice that. You are swaying to the left here. But one good thing that we do see here, see that there's a number here which is 51 on the screen here. That means you've turned your shoulders 51 degrees. Okay? So 53 is what we look for here. So you also said, as we were talking before we all started this, is that you used to be a very armsy player. Well, if I see your shoulders turning at 51, that tells me that your upper body and shoulders are turning away from the ball, which is excellent. You look at the tour player here, backswing, easily you can see the shoulders turning against. You see where it's almost like you could draw a little triangle here, where her arms intersect her chest. Now, if her chest wasn't moving at all and her arms were moving, you wouldn't see this little triangle. So as a reference, yours is kind of doing that too. Yours is your arms have risen a little bit, but for the most part, as we get to this position, that's pretty good. Taking the swing to the top, all the way to the top. We get yourself set at the top. Now we're going to try to see what happens in the swing. Let's try to find the exact top. Right about there. Okay, so we saw at halfway back your shoulders had turned 51 degrees, and here at the top of the swing, meaning when your shoulders you basically gotten your swing to the top and you're about to make your transition in your downswing, your shoulders have turned 58 degrees and your hips have turned 22. So in the left view, you can see that the tour player here, she's turned her shoulders about 90 degrees. The averages would be 89. And the hip turn is at 22 here. Hip turn, a really good hip turn really would be somewhere about 36 to 44, 48 or something in that general area. 35 to 51 would be, I guess, the optimal range. So 22 in your hip turn. So your hips haven't turned much at all. And that's why if we take these numbers down and we see just the general backswing, our overall motion, we see body sliding to the left, really not turning, and you're lifting with your arms. Okay? So we see a lack of turn and your arms taking over the motion of the swing here in the backswing.